Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Lee Cole here. It's 3 o'clock, top of the hour, and ready for our Monday Q&A. Already got some questions pouring in before I even started the webinar. Love hearing that. Before I just get going, though, let's make sure of a couple of things. Number one, can you actually hear me? And can you see my screen? You should see the Monday Q. Matthew, how you doing, buddy? So yes to both of those. You can hear me and see my screen. Bill, how are you doing? Bill typed in a question for us, which is a fabulous question before the webinar even got started. I love that. I didn't even know you could do that. I guess I never looked at the question pane before webinars started. I've only done like 40 million webinars. But anyway, a couple of little housekeeping things, and we'll get to Bill's question. This is going to last about 30 minutes. It is being recorded. It ends up on a playlist, which you can access on this same page. Let me put this in here for you. And I know you've seen that page before, but if you're like me, keeping up with crap online is almost impossible. You can watch past episodes here, right? Yeah, Bill, I mean, that was so cool. I opened up the question pane and bam, question. And not only that, but it's a fabulous question. Bill, I'm guessing this is you, right? Is this you right here? Let me know. I mean, it says content marketing leads on LinkedIn and stuff. But anyway, guys, I'm totally excited. Awesome. I'm totally excited, and which is why I'm starting like 15 sentences all at the same time. And but you can watch the past episodes of this here. So if you will go to the same page, I put it in the chat for you. It says watch past episodes. And if you will click on that, it takes you to a playlist of our growing number of episodes. And I'm doing this every week with the exception of when stuff happens, right? So I think recently my dog had a little, what the vet calls a dietary indiscretion. And $500 later, we found out that my dog was fine, hadn't done something stupid like eaten a sock or something. And yeah, Debbie, if you will, I think you're saying on the webinar, you're just seeing the Monday Q&A page. Well, Bill saw his LinkedIn profile. So, okay, guys, let's just make sure that yours truly is actually doing this right. You guys should be seeing a LinkedIn profile that says William Hall Lyon. Can you see that page? Yes, no, maybe. Brian can. Anybody else, Matt? Okay. Debbie, I'm assuming this is your computer internet connection, something like that. Michael, not sure what your issue is. If y'all can't see this, well, you can obviously hear me because we're talking about it. If y'all can't see this, you might want to go out and come back in. If you're on internet connection with not a lot of bandwidth, probably going to lag a little bit. I mean, there is a lot of data going to your computer with a webinar. So, anywho, it is all being recorded, Debbie, in case you missed something because of whatever reason, or it could be GoToWebinar, guys. GoToWebinar has actually upgraded their system a lot in the past year. This is a fairly old platform, though, and it could just be GoToWebinar, okay? But as I was saying, if y'all missed something and you want to review, then yeah, just go here, click that. Of course, the ones of you who can't see this, go to the same page you sign up on, scroll close to almost all the way down, click the button where it says click here to watch past episodes, and that will take you to a playlist with all the past episodes. Cool beans. One more quick thing. I am not going to be here on Monday. Well, I'm going to be here, but I got something else I'm doing this coming Monday, the 20th. So that Monday's out. But other than that, it's business as usual. And while you're at it, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm building out that YouTube channel very rapidly. So subscribe to that. There is a ton of really cool content on there. Okay, let's get to Bill's question, which I just loved. And so it's Monday Q&A. You got other questions you want to ask, go ahead and type them in now. I like this to be about 30 minutes-ish. I'm not going to just stupidly cut it off at 30.000, something like that. But, you know, I'm aware of your time. I'm aware of my time, et cetera, et cetera. So go ahead and type in new questions. I'll get to as many as I can. I've also got some questions that people were asking me over the week. Anyway, Bill says, Bill got a client. Awesome. And do you have any suggestions to speed up the sales funnel messaging? Bill, I'm not confused by that. I can think of a few things that might mean, though. Um, I'm guessing you mean, and just say yes or no, or you know, add to the question. I'm guessing you mean something like speed up the messaging process for yourself. Okay. So I'm guessing Debbie says it's working now. Awesome. Bill. Okay. So Bill says, how can you speed up the messaging process for yourself? Hang on. Let's just go here and we will go here. There are a couple of things. It seems to take a while to get to the point. Okay. So it seems like, you're talking about it takes a while for you to get to the point with a given. Alan, let's discuss that next. YouTube keywords tools. Matter of fact, that is queued up. Well, it was queued up right here, but it will be queued up right here. So we'll talk about that. Well, I'll make sure we squeeze that in before the end of the webinar because that's good stuff. So, Bill, I think what you're saying is for a given prospect, it takes a while to get to the point of in the messaging process, like this guy, Ray Bartle. He actually messaged me and said, did I know somebody and I didn't know them and stuff like that, you know. But let's say I were prospecting him. Matter of fact, let's make this a little more real. Let's open up Ray's profile if we can. I mean, we can, but let's see if that opened it up. Well, it didn't. And let's do that then. Okay. Let's try here. Okay. Real estate information technology, telecommunications. Okay, so wholesaling, rehabbing, and rentals. So real estate investor. Okay. Now let's say I were prospecting him. Number one, you want a commonality. Okay. So my first message out to him should be something like, now I'm not going to write this in here because he's in the middle of asking me if I know somebody that I can connect him to. And that will just confuse him. I'm just using this profile just so I'm not talking abstractly. You know, my first messaging out to him should be something that talks about a commonality. If you can find a commonality, and if you can't find a commonality, well, you know, screw it, just message them anyway, right? In other words, speed and repeatability are essential. I'm just kind of looking through his stuff to see if we have any other commonalities. I'm not from the Midwest. Okay. So anyway, this guy's a real estate investor. Okay. So, well, you know, I used to sell real estate, right? I did that for about 10 years here in Atlanta. I worked with a lot of investors. So it's completely fair to me to say something like, hey, Ray, Lee Cole here. You know, either we've been now he's a first tier connection, so he is already a connection. So I can't say wanted to reach out to you, wanted to connect with you. That would be stupid. We're already connected. I could say that if he were a second tier connection, an indirect connection. But let's say, hey, Ray, this is Lee Cole. We've been connected for some time, read your profile. Of course, now that I've looked at his profile here in the notifications, it's going to show up that, I looked at his profile. Let's see if he has, no. So I'd say, just, glance to your profile. You're in the real estate business in the Midwest. Just ask him, I used to be in the real estate business, all true. Just ask him, how's that going for you? You know, see you're into rehabbing and renting property. How's that working for you? Something like that. You just put it into your own words. So you're finding a commonality. The reason you find a commonality is, that's just like adults talking to each other and kids too, 101, right? In other words, you always liken LinkedIn to like a network meeting where they're real human beings who have bodies made out of flesh, and you walk up to somebody and you don't just vomit on them. Okay, now Bill already knows this, guys, but you don't just vomit on them and tell them what your deal is. You just say, let's say I was meeting Ray at a network meeting, and let's say it was a network meeting about real estate, and I said, hey Ray, so you're here for the network meeting. Are you already in the network business? The real estate business, thinking about getting in the real estate business, something like that. You just put a question out there, right? Excuse me, I'm drinking water as I speak. So you just put a question out there, and LinkedIn is a place for people to network, just as a meetup meeting or a BNI meeting or a Chamber of Commerce meeting is a place for people to network. And what Ray's going to do, Ray's going to look at your profile. He's going to say something intelligent back. He's going to wonder, why you're doing this. But, most business people are, the reason that they're good, one of the reasons they're good at business is that they're good at networking. Okay, that's like one of the commonalities between entrepreneurs and self-employed people and freelancers and stuff like that, and the average schmo who just works for some other guy or gal making them rich instead of himself rich, right? Is that the first group of people, the entrepreneurs, freelancers, solopreneurs, real estate investors, they're good at networking. They welcome that opportunity. So it kind of like, the people who are going to be easy for you to talk to and approach are the people that you want to approach anyway, right? And the people who are going to, shrug their shoulders and not know what to do with that, they're not really, 95% of them are not efficient business people anyway. So we're all good here. So commonality first. As soon as Ray says something like, well, yeah, Lee, I've been doing this, X number of years. It's going really well for me. Got 5 rental properties now. Probably asked me, am I interested in the business, or, because my profile doesn't say I'm a real estate agent in Missouri. It says I'm developed software in Atlanta, right? So, there's going to be some questions, there's just like there would be, on a personal level, but think about what just happened. I sent out one message to this guy, okay, and all this stuff happens, right, without me wasting time. So Bill, this part of your answer is you can, and I suspect you're doing this already, but just for the rest of y'all, you can send out X number of, outbound messages per day, right? Like 5 days a week, 7 days a week, whatever you want to do, X number of outbound messages per day. And but the commonality is really important because that gives us something to talk about, and you want to do this with a question, okay? The reason you want to do this with a question, like the reason I would ask Ray, well, you're in the real, notice you were in the real estate business. I used to be in the real estate business. How's the rental market where you are? Blah, 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 right? The reason that you ask a question is because if you just make a statement, and Bill, I don't know if I've hit on your issue yet, Bill. I don't even know if you have an issue. You could just be doing everything right. But the reason you ask a question instead of making a statement is that if you just make a statement, then the other person has nowhere to go. They have zero reason to say something back. You may compliment them, like, but I don't know what in God's name you would compliment him about, but it seems like a nice guy, but I mean, but in talking about talking to people, you could compliment someone. They could say, thank you very much. I mean, there's that, which is not really a question, it's a statement. But normally, if you make a statement to somebody, the conversation comes to a halt, right? The conversation has come to a halt after you make a statement. I mean, they would have to really very much be interested in whatever you're doing and have not much else to do with, the next few minutes of their lives in order to fire up the conversation again after you made a statement. See? Yeah, hang on to that, Bill. So ignore my little buddy here. This is my little buddy who had to go to the vet. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, he hears a dog way in the background. So, uh, so you want to ask a question, right? Okay, and it's better the more specific the question is. Now, if there is no commonality, of course, if you're as old as I am, then you're going to find a lot of commonalities. But if there is no commonality, then you're just going to have to ask some generic question. You're going to get your responses back are going to be fewer, okay? So your response rate back is going to be less. The more specific you can get the question to their profile and what they're doing, the greater the number of responses responses back you're going to get. But after you get a response back from Bill, and no, excuse me, from Ray, where Bill asked the question, Ray's our example. After you get a response back from Ray, then you just go ahead and hit him up with what you do. So it's really a two-step process, okay? You look at the profile. Look, the profile is not War and Peace, and this is not like learning how to solve partial differential equations or something. I mean, it takes all of about 4 nanoseconds to spot something in someone's profile that's a commonality between you and them. Just find one thing. Don't overthink this, right? So find one thing and then use that in your initial message going out to them. Just want to know, blah, blah, blah. Seems like you live in blah, blah, blah. I used to too. How long have you lived there, or how are you finding that, or how's that working for you? The closer you can get it to stuff about business, the better, because this is after all B2B selling. Then when, of the people who message you back, okay, that's when you hit them up with your deal. But you don't just like vomit. Vomit is when you send them this 5-paragraph self-serving thing about how great your deal is and all that stuff, because that's just a real turnoff. Don't ever send anybody anything unless you have their permission. Okay, don't even send them a link unless you have their permission. Okay, by putting them in the seat of power, you actually control the whole conversation. But what you want to do is, so let's say Ray says, yeah, Lee, I've been, investing in real estate for about 10 years, got 5 properties now, blah, blah, blah. How did the real estate business work for you? Blah, blah, blah. So now we're open, we're talking, right? And so then I would just hit him back up and say, Ray, yeah, it worked really well for me. I do something different now. I help business people just like you find whatever. I mean, you're going to have to figure out what could you possibly do for a real estate investor. Now, Ray may not be your target audience. Okay, so it may be the real estate investor is a waste of time. Of course, you're not wasting much time. I mean, it takes all of about 2.5 seconds to write a quick message back just to see what happens. You literally have no idea who this guy is, who he's connected to, and you literally have no idea about his background, right? Okay, so in other words, I'm saying assume less and message more. You got it? Assume less and message more. Don't be a genius, just message. So then, but you don't want the 5-paragraph thing about all the stuff that you can do for Ray on LinkedIn, blah, blah, blah. You just want a little thing going back to him, and you can almost copy and paste those, okay? Almost. Just want a little thing going back to him that it's another message back. The first step in that message back to Ray is to reference what he just said. Okay, so if he asks you a question, answer it. If he just said real estate's going great, wished I'd done this sooner. Yeah, Debbie, I'll repeat a little bit of this too. Alan, we're going to get to YouTube keyword tools. Okay, this may go a little longer, but this is a beautiful question about LinkedIn and deserves a good answer. But I'll get you too, buddy. So, and just for the record, Alan was not, pinging me or bugging me anything. I just wanted to make sure that he knows that I still know that he's there. So, basically, what you want to do is a quick message back to Ray. So this is message number 2. So you have had outbound message number 1. Ray messaged you back. Okay, then you have outbound message number 2. That's the message I'm talking about now. And let's say that there is something that you feel that you could do for Ray. Maybe does Ray... My passion includes assisting others who are in dead-end jobs, going nowhere, to regaining excitement of building their own business for themselves and their families. Okay. That would have actually been a better question than how's the real estate business. I would have just copied that sentence, quoted it, sent it to him first and said, this is so interesting, Ray. I run my own business. How are you doing this? Because that seems like where that guy's passion is, right? So, okay, my history includes leading. Okay, that's history. Okay, but anyway, so you want to figure out what you could possibly do for him. You don't have to have the whole freaking thing figured out. Just a little tiny, you're just looking for a crack in the wall. That's all you're looking for. And then you say, well, Ray, it could be, I'm not sure, this, a lot of times I'll say in a message, this may or may not be for you. You should write that down. This may or may not be for you. I learned that from one of the top, actually network marketing trainers on the planet. It's a beautiful sentence to say because it puts the other person so much at ease, right? This may or may not be for you. However, I do the following, and you need to describe that in all of 4 words, not a big freaking sales message. I do the following. I help businesses like yours with more leads. I help businesses like yours I help people like you get found online. Just some little thing, some like a total, 30,000 foot overview, not even an overview, just a hint. Here's what I do in like 5 words or less. That's what you want. And then the last part of that, this is message number 2. The last part of that message would be, Ray, I would be very happy to send you some information. This is the part you can copy and paste. I'd be very happy to send you some information. Send you to a quick link. Let me know if you'd like more. Let me know if you'd like to know more. I mean, what he's going to do, he's going to go to your profile and try to figure out what you do and how you could possibly help him. And he's going to do his homework, right? I mean, that's the way LinkedIn works. That's why this all starts with your profile. Bill, I just read that. This all starts with your profile, guys. Your profile Ray has to be able to read your profile and figure out what the hell you're talking about, okay, and what you can do on his own. Why is that? Because it's a trust issue, all right? He's going to, and everybody's like this, he's going to click over there and say, oh, okay, so he can help me with what? No, that's pretty interesting. Well, let me go over and see this guy. And he's going to look here. I mean, this is Ray, this isn't me, but he's going to look here to figure out why you could help him. So that's why I always say your profile has to be your silent salesperson, because your profile is what knits that step from Ray getting that second message back to Ray go ahead and taking you up on the fact that, yeah, go ahead and send me some information, because what Ray's going to do, he's going to go over here. We're pretending this is me now. Ray's going to go over here and read all about you, right? So he's going to read all about Bill. I don't have Bill's thing up here at the moment. So read all about Bill and think, yeah, that guy probably could help me. I'm not exactly sure how he can help me, but yeah, he's doing stuff that sounds pretty cool. This guy's a pro, right? And so that's what really solidifies the deal and puts the trust factor in there for someone to go ahead on that second go round of messages and say, yeah, I would like to know more. Yes, I would like to know more. Okay. So you don't send a link out on that second message. You don't send anything out until you have permission. Otherwise, you come off as really pushy, really unprofessional, and slightly spammy-ish. Okay. So then the third outbound message from you to him is going to be, hey, Ray, here's a link to, let's say you got a web page that describes what you do. Here's a link, that tell you more about what I do. Here's a PDF that will tell you more about what I do. Me, I would not hide that PDF behind a squeeze page because I think I don't think, I know I've measured that you're gonna get a lot of balls dropped. A lot of people are gonna hit that squeeze page and just say, no, I really just wanted the PDF. I mean, what's this crap? He wants my email. That thing, I would not. I would just have a naked PDF online, right? Naked PDF. I've never even thought of the idea of a naked PDF. But anyway, you know what I mean, not hidden behind a squeeze page. So I'd have the PDF online, I give the guy a link to the PDF, he goes there, he sees it, make it look sharp. That's another quote unquote silent salesperson. Okay, so make it look sharp about what you do. And at that point, so now you've hit the guy up again, you sent him back said, hey, Ray, yeah, absolutely, be happy to send you this, just click on this link. That's a PDF that tells you a lot more about what I do, my services, or click on this link. This tells you, sends you to my website. You can read all about what we do, blah, blah, blah. Those people at that point, the people that get that far with you, they need to go on a spreadsheet for follow-up, okay? Because what you want to do at the end of that third message going out is you want to say, hey, Ray, here's a PDF, here's a website that will explain what I do, be very happy. Listen, guys, you need a call to action. Again, you can't just end it with here's a link, because what will the guy do? He'll go look at the freaking link and not know what to do, right? Because you didn't tell him what to do. I mean, it's not up to him to figure out how the hell to get in touch with you, right? So let's use the PDF example. Give him a link to the PDF. He goes to the PDF. But in that message, you want to say, hey, Ray, blah, blah, blah. Here's a link to a PDF that will explain to you in great detail about, what all we can do for business owners like you. By the way, now here comes the call to action. I would be very happy to hop on the phone, or you can figure out what you're doing, whether it's whether it's phone or Zoom or whatever. And, this is important, but it's inconsequential how you do it, okay? But, be very happy to hop on the phone with you sometime, be very happy to hop on a little Zoom chat with you sometime, 15 minutes just to, answer your questions and tell you a little bit more about what I do. Now, Ray's an experienced businessman. He knows that he's getting closer and closer to being sold something, and that's fine. Because the only reason that you're going to sell him something is he has a need, okay? He has a want, he has a need, all right? He has a hole that he needs something to fit, right? And he's looking to see if you have a product, a service, or whatever that will fill that hole for him, okay? And he's going to be willing to pay you money for that. So that's what the 15-minute phone call is for. So hopefully, Bill, I gave you some pointers of that. I would not keep up with all these people that I'm messaging. Now, I keep up with the people that I'm sending the initial message out to, and the way I do that is I just download my contacts from LinkedIn onto a spreadsheet. I've got 6,000 some odd. I don't know how many you got, but anyway. And I just start at the top and just go all the way through the bottom, okay? Because you're just messaging the first tier connections, right? You're also working on second tier connections to move them up into first tier connections, but you don't do the marketing to them, the messaging thing, until they're first tier connections. But Bill and everybody else, I would not like over track all of this stuff. I would have the way I do it is I download all my contacts on a spreadsheet, all right, and I just put the date, I make a little extra column on the left and I put the date out there, and I'll just, reach out to 20 or 30 people a day and just work my way through that spreadsheet. Of course, with, 6,000 people, it takes quite a while to do that. But I would have either another page on that spreadsheet or another spreadsheet for the people that I got to the point of sending them my web. So this is outbound message 3, sending them the link to my website, sending them the link to my PDF. Those people you need to follow up with, okay? Because they were willing to get that far. If they don't contact you back and say, yes, hey, send it on over, it's really because they got busy and distracted doing other stuff. If they really weren't interested, this is like 80% of them, if they really weren't interested, they wouldn't have got this far in the process anyway. Okay, I mean, they're not going to get this far in the process and then suddenly hold their noses and say, no, that's not for me. That's not what they're going to do, right? Okay, it's just that, I mean, we're all either running businesses or trying to start businesses. I've run businesses for years. You just get overloaded. You get distracted. You have a fire to put out. You got to take your dog to the vet. I mean, life happens, right? And so you want to, of those people in that third message out, you're going to want to actually put them on a spreadsheet. And I would, let's say I didn't hear from Ray for a week, I would start contacting, all the people that I didn't hear from for a week. I would contact them like the next week. Now, it doesn't matter if you try to recontact Ray exactly 7 days from the day that you had the third message go out. That doesn't matter at all. Matter of fact, I like to bunch stuff together. It helps me a lot. So Bill, this is economies. We're talking about economies of scale here and making this go faster. I like to do all my follow-up at one freaking time. Okay, so let's say Monday morning you do all your follow-up for the people that you need to follow up with, but you hadn't heard from, right? Let's say Ray got to that third message and we hadn't heard from Ray, and it was like 2 Mondays from now, right? I would follow up with Ray. Okay, and everybody else that all the other this actually is what a lead is, by the way. Somebody who's expressed interest but who hasn't gone through the sales, through the rest of the sales process yet. So periodically, hit Ray up like every 2 weeks, something like that. You can also just have more. Nope. You can also, I mean, if he's got a link or something, where you can get other information about him, like a website, you might want to put that on your spreadsheet. It is so important not to over track this stuff and over analyze this stuff. Okay. But that's what you want to do. So those people that have that third outbound message, those are the only ones you want to follow up with. But them I would follow up with until, I would follow up with them, like follow up means messages. If you can find their email address on their website, you might want to email them. If you want to find them on Twitter or something, you might want to hit them up on Twitter. But those people I would follow up with for about 3 or 4 times and then let them drop. Okay. Otherwise, you'll have so much follow up with what I call the dead horses. The old saying, you can whip a dead horse, is never going to go anywhere, which is a horrible saying, by the way. But anyway, for an animal lover like me. But my point is, you don't want this giant glut of follow up where you're constantly hitting up people that for whatever reason just don't care. They could be dead. They got fired from their job. They're off doing something else. They're in jail. Who the hell knows, right? I don't know. But you don't want to just be constantly hitting up people. So you need to drop the people that you hit up, the people that you follow up with. You need to have a set amount of time that you follow up with those people. If you can't get an email, then it's fine for you to put them on an autoresponder and hit them up with an email, let's say once a month for freaking ever. Okay, it's fine to do that. But in terms of using your time, you want to use your time, maybe 3 or 4 sessions of hitting them up. Maybe less, maybe 2. Personally, I would probably go for 2 or 3, something like that, according to how much follow-up I had to do. And then after that, you drop them, okay? Theoretically, you'll circle around again when you download your contacts the next time and go through the whole process again. Bill, I hope that helped you out, buddy. Debbie says, would you please repeat what you just said about don't send sales messages? Yes, Debbie. And everybody on here that's ever been on LinkedIn, I'm positive that you've had people just send you sales messages out of the blue. Bill's puppy heard my dog. That's so great. I know. And he's just, oh God, he's bugging the daylights out of me. But anyway, this is an 80-pound puppy that's 3 years old, and he refuses to grow up from puppyhood, and he's sitting here attacking my hand. Okay, here's a great one. Here's a great one. Let's look at this guy. Let's look at the top of this message. Okay, so this guy messaged me at some point. I apparently accepted his connection, which I virtually always do. The only reason I never accept people's connections is if you don't have a picture, because I figure if you don't have a picture, you're an idiot. So, and then look, I mean, this is the extent of my messaging to him. In other words, it's all him to me, him to me, him to me, right? And or shady, yes. Well, yeah, you could be shady too. It could be a fake account, yeah. But here's this guy, Charles, probably the nicest guy in the world. I don't know. Hey, stop that. Stop. Okay, stop. So here's this guy, Charles. I mean, look. So Debbie, this is what not to do. Okay. Now this part's fine. We connected. He apparently reached out to me. I accepted his connection. We connected. He says, thanks for connecting. Tell me a little bit. Now, why the hell should I tell him about me? Okay, see right here. This is all from his point of view. Me, mine, I. All right. Sales communication, like kindergarten level sales communication. Quit talking about yourself. I'm going to say a bad word in about 2 seconds because I'm wound up. Nobody gives a shit about you, literally. Nobody gives a shit. Everybody gives a shit about themselves. Nobody gives a shit about you. The only time they give a shit about you is when they think you can do something for them. Sounds awful, but it is the way it is, right? Okay, it's just the way humans work. I'm not the one that invented them. I happen to think they're great. Just this guy's seriously screwing it up. This has, there's no with them. What's in it for me? There's no recognition that Lee is even on the planet. It's all Charles. Okay, and this guy's probably just sitting around banging on the keyboard all day long, getting a very few leads from this kind of thing. I could be wrong, but I'm usually not. Okay, so why the hell should I tell him about me? I don't even know who the guy is. Perhaps we have some corresponding interests. Seriously, this is remarkably self-serving. Okay, so Debbie, don't do this. Notice my profile is all about, my software business. So notice he would have been much better to say, yeah, thank you. Matthew says he can't even use my name. So pro tip, guys, I left that out. Use people's names, okay? This is why when I'm talking, I say things like, Bill, here's the answer to your question. Matthew said, Debbie, here's your question. I don't just like, that. This is just, that's just basic human, professional adult communication. But Haley, thanks for connecting. Notice that you do some cool training. Let's talk about me now, right? That's what he should have done. Talk about me. Notice that you do, create training products and software. That's very, very cool. I would like to know more about that. Now, see, he would have got a response back from me. I mean, worst case, I'd have thought, oh, well, damn, he wants to buy something. Okay. I mean, but he'd have got a response back from that, right? But he didn't get any response back because he's sitting here talking about him. And I don't give a rat's, what about him. And then he's pestering me. Now here he goes pestering me. And all of this crap, I run a consulting business, working growing business, have a remote workforce and clients. I think that's pretty interesting. But he's already proven to me that this is not the person that I want to do business with, because not that he's a bad person. I have no idea what kind of person he is at all. It's just that he's not good at communicating. Okay. um, mapping out their business process. The guy may be really, really good at that. Okay. I could probably use something like that, frankly, and the guy may be really, really good like that. And then he, he repeats it. So Debbie, that's what I mean by no spammy sales messages. Now, this is not really spammy. I mean, it's professional stuff. And if you look at the guy's profile, if I remember correctly, it's all professional stuff. But the fact of the matter is, I don't care. And he didn't ask me about anything about me. And he never got my permission to tell me about him. So Debbie, you want to get the other person's permission. Especially underline this, guys, in your notes, especially before you give them your phone number, before you suggest a call, before you send them a link, before you do any of that, just, roll this back and revisit what I told Bill to do, and you'll be doing it right, and you will get a lot more leads than Charles is getting. My guess is working way, way too hard. I could be wrong. Sometimes I'm wrong. Often I'm not. Let's get to Alan, who's waited patiently for his question, which is quite different, but very cool. Information about YouTube keyword tool. I'll show you. So we're totally changing gears now. We're out of LinkedIn. We're into YouTube. And yeah, here I'm on YouTube. And so yeah, I use TubeBuddy. Okay. I have a TubeBuddy Pro account, which I got somewhere. It has a pro license. This was a one-shot, this was a one-off sale, okay? And it was a sale. I have no idea how much this cost retail. I don't know. I don't even remember how I bought it, what I bought it through. I don't know. It may have been AppSumo or something like that. They do have a monthly thing, and it's actually on my list to upgrade to the monthly thing because it's got some stuff that's going to make my life easier, like the ability to schedule uploads of, videos and stuff like that. But anyway, let's talk about keywords. So TubeBuddy is what I use, and I use their Tag Explorer. And just so you know, you can get to Tag Explorer from a bunch of different places on, once you have TubeBuddy and you've got it installed and all that stuff, you can get to Tube Explorer from a lot of different, Tube Explorer, Jesus. You can get to TubeBuddy, Tube Explorer, God knows. You can get to TubeBuddy from a lot of different places. You see, you can get, places here. You can see the tag. We're talking about the tag tool, so you can see the tag tool here. You can do a lot of this stuff here. Probably the most, there's a bunch of ways you can get to it here, I think. Does it say tag tool? I don't really get to it from here. So you got a bunch of ways that you can do this, and it all leads to this beautiful little place right here, okay? And I was kind of playing around with this with you guys in mind or earlier today. So what you do is you type in a tag, all right? And so let's say Dentist San Antonio. I spelled that right. And you just hit Explore. And it's pretty cool. It gives you most used tags. Now, these are going to be tags that are used on other videos that TubeBuddy, which is going to be pulling its information from YouTube's API. But this gives you other tags that people are using, and you get like 25% of the videos are most used tags from the top ranking videos. So the top ranking videos for this keyword, a fourth of them are using the tag dentist or teeth or something like that. So that's cool. I think trending, we didn't have enough search volume, which often happens with local keywords. I'll do a non-local keyword in just a minute, just so I cover both bases, my offline people and my online people. Auto-suggested, These are, you know, I mean, this is coming from Google Suggest, right? Let's see if any of them make Dentist San Antonio reviews. If you want to check that out, you go here. Okay, well, let's look at the difference between, I wish I could have two instances of this up at the same time. I don't think I can. So here we are, this keyword. So you got two things going on, and they're kind of, for those of you who like numbers, okay, it's not showing you the actual numbers, okay? So this is not like, you know, Google's keyword tool and all that, or what it used to be and all that stuff. But it does have top ranking videos and stuff like that. You can check these out. But I mainly just use this part and this part right here. Search volume and competition. Search volume is, you know, so it's on a sliding scale. Exactly how many searches per, well, there we go, 33. Okay, but I don't really know whether, I think that's 33 of a scale of 0 to 100. I don't really pay attention to this. I pay attention to this right here, okay? I want a fairly decent search volume. So I use this in more of a relative way. I want a fairly decent search volume, and I would like less competition. I mean, really, you want this part, this little indicator to be over here, and you want that little indicator to be down there. I mean, that makes sense, right? More searches, less competition. And this is a keyword that they grade as fair. Okay, it's got some competition, but enough search volume to make it worth targeting. Frankly, with not, you know, with good on-page SEO, you could probably rank for this. Okay, at least within you, at least in YouTube search. Okay, if you had a, I mean, there are a bunch of things. Excuse me, there are a bunch of things going on there. If you have a brand new account, it's probably going to be harder for you to rank. But if you got an account that's got some age, that's got some traffic, you know, from other things, then if you do good on-page SEO, then you stand a very good chance of ranking for this, even where it says fair. So I would not be scared off by fair. The only times I don't go after the keyword is when it says poor. Okay, and poor would be either the competition is really high or the search volume may suck and the competition is, you know, like in yellow or red. Okay, so that's what I do with that. Now let's go back to where it said auto suggested. And I'll compare this to, which one was it? Dentist San Antonio reviews, because here's a beautiful keyword. San Antonio is a city in Texas. It's got about, I think, 1.5 million people. You don't hear about San Antonio a lot. I have no idea why I thought of, I mean, I went there earlier this year, but I have no idea why. When I was just kind of noodling around here and preparing for you guys, I don't know why I thought about San Antonio. You know, I just needed something to type in, right? We'll do, we'll take out San Antonio in a minute and put in a bigger city, okay? But anyway, so this is a good keyword to go after. The search volume's pretty low, but you got to think about, in other words, I mean, there are not that many people on, this is on YouTube now, there are not that many people on YouTube searching for that keyword or whatever YouTube thinks is, you know, semantically related to that keyword, okay? But if you had a client who was a dentist in San Antonio and they wanted to pay you to rank a video, I mean, it's only a city of 1.5 million people. They may well be very happy to have a video ranked for that keyword, and they're going to get some business from that. Okay. So, you know, from a local marketing point of view, this would be a beautiful keyword. It's going to be just very easy to rank for this within YouTube. It'll probably even rank in Google. When I mean rank in Google, I mean when you're on Google and you're just typing in Dentist San Antonio reviews, and then you get the search results, and then you just see some of those are videos, and then you see your video show up or your client's video show up. That's what I mean by on Google. On YouTube, I mean by you get into YouTube and yeah, you're doing YouTube search, right? Okay, so you're just, let's just go here and make it super clear for you guys. because I got people of all levels. I have no idea what this crap is, by the way, but anyway, or how it even gets there. But anyway, uh, you know, Dennis San Antonio reviews. I mean, people are going to do this and by the way, TubeBuddy shows up here too, which is really cool. So you can just go to YouTube, do the search, and it will show up here, which you see, you get all of this stuff here. Again, you get it in a bunch of different places. But this is a valid keyword. A lot of people are going to search like this. This kind of searching behavior of actually searching YouTube itself, I'm pretty sure is going to happen on a phone more than it is on a computer. That's just something I think. It's not something I've proven, but considering that I'm addicted to my phone. I search stuff all the time for myself, for clients, just for learning stuff. And when I search YouTube, it's virtually always on my phone. That's okay. The phone results and the computer results seem to be not exactly the same, but they're extremely similar. I have not looked into whether they're exactly similar or not because I don't care, because they're so close to being the same. So in other words, bottom line, very, very good keyword for that. Let's do a bigger Houston. Think that's the third largest city in the United States? Okay. Dentist Houston reviews. Okay. So check it out. We've got, here's the whole play here. See, at least one person is doing this. Here's a whole playlist that's ranking, right? And then we got somebody with 80 views 4 years ago. I mean, say 80 views, that's not that much. But, for somebody, if you got a client who wants to cover all of their bases with a long tail keyword strategy, which is what this is, ranking a bunch of really good videos. Now, this is a crap done for you video, which, I said it's a crap done for you video. There's nothing really wrong with that, but I tend to move up market from that. I would want to do like an interview with a client or something like that. I'm kind of liking this one, 10,000 views. There's no way that has 10,000 views with this keyword, with that volume. Houston Cosmetic Dentist. I doubt. I mean, we could look Houston Cosmetic Dentist and see if he gets that volume. So I'm guessing a lot of these are paid for by ads. That's another thing you can add to this, is you can not only, good God Almighty, that person has a problem. You can not only get the video ranked organically, but you can add in, YouTube videos and you can add in YouTube ads and you can get paid for that. So this is good. So these are great keywords. Look, what was the one? Yeah. So Alan, that's how I do it. I mean, I do it by noodling around with TubeBuddy. Are there other pieces of software? Yes. Have I used other pieces of software in the past? Why don't I use other pieces of software? Because for what I'm doing, TubeBuddy happens to just fit my personality really, really well. Okay, it happens to fit how I work my business and how I work clients' businesses. Alan, just adding to this a little bit, guys. I know I'm going long, but we're going to cut it off after about an hour. But yeah, you bet. Alan says good info. Absolutely. Alan, just a little extra thing, which you may want to come back and talk to me about. Now, I'm not going to be here next week. I'm just have a time conflict, but I'll be back on track the following week. You may want to come back the following week and ask me about this, because this would be a great follow-up question, is on-page SEO and the fact that you really, really, really want to be doing the on-page SEO. You want the playlist. The playlist. I hope y'all know what playlists are. The playlist, you want that to be the playlists will rank, but basically you want to create several videos in a playlist all targeting one keyword. That is the freaking killer strategy right there. Okay? Because you can just take a keyword like this and just freaking carpet bomb it. Okay? I mean, you can literally carpet bomb it. Let's just take one of mine. LinkedIn tutorial for beginners 2018. So I do a ton of LinkedIn stuff. And bam, there, look, is this my whole playlist? This is the entire playlist, okay, ranking. Now notice I'm up against a fair amount of competition. I'm up against a ton of competition. Playlist ranking, video ranking, video ranking. See, there I am talking. Video ranking, video ranking, video ranking. I think that's all the videos in the playlist. In other words, because of good on-page SEO and because I chose a good keyword here, you can see, is it going to show us? Yeah, look, see right here. Competition here was quite a bit more than the competition in those dentist keywords I showed you, if I remember correctly, right? Search volume is okay with me because with this channel that I'm building out, I'm building this out over a long period with a ginormous number of videos that will end up being a huge asset for my business. So I'm fine with long tail keywords, okay? But this is what I mean by carpet bombing. See, you know, I'm up against all these big dogs, and yours truly has shown up here, what, 5 times, 6 times? And I get clicks from this stuff, and I get sales from this stuff. So this is not a local keyword. This is what I call an online, as opposed to local marketing, online marketing, regular internet marketing. My goal here is to build my list and sell my own products for my business through this. And as you can see, it's exactly the same. I mean, just, you know, whether it's online or offline, you know, the whole thing's the same. But see, this works like gangbusters, and this particular playlist is only like a week or 2 old. Okay, so that works too. So Alan, if you want to, I mean, I hope you do, but if you want to come back in a couple of weeks and remind me about the playlist and on-page SEO, and I'll be happy to talk about that some too. Cool beans, guys. I think we've gone long. I deeply appreciate your questions. I love having you in my world and my business. I don't have a business without you. And this is going to be published, and it will be available here for your review. Give me about a day for that. And it'll just be one of the many, you know, Monday Q&As that we're doing here. And look forward to seeing y'all. Mark, thank you, buddy. Look forward to seeing y'all 2 weeks from now, skipping next week. And cool beans, that's what I know. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day.